say you're a star shape. You know, you're shaped like a star. Just a, not the star, but this shape, you know, with the points. You got a lot of points on you. Okay? And then you're going to move through the world differently than if you're circular shape. You're going to see things differently. You're going to relate to things differently. And if you're a circular shape, and say like you're a hula hoop, right? And I throw you into the room, and you'll have hula hoop patterns. The way you roll and bump into things. But if you're a star and I throw you into the room, you'll probably just stick at some point. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Like that, see? Though the patterns will be different. And every time I throw the stars, see, they're going to do a certain kind of pattern. And every time I throw the hula hoops, they're going to have a different pattern. They're going to do different kind of behavior, so to speak. So you're following that. See, I'm trying to make this simple. Yeah? See, so if you, in your experience, are a shape, a star, you're going to have always certain behavior. You're going to interpret things much more complicated than you, than a matter of physics, like the star and the hula hoop. But your entire world is going to be assessed in relationship to you being a hula hoop, or a star, or a cricket. And so your behavior will be consistent with that. Now, if you exist in your existential reality of you as a person, you are only a human being, then you're not going to have any particular weird patterns going on. You're going to have only common human patterns, whatever that is, right? But you don't. You have particular patterns. So that means in addition to the the generic human reality, you have some wiggly thing here, or some strange thing here, or a hula hoop or something. See? You have other stuff going on. And so when you throw yourself into the world, you roll a little bit, stick a little bit. Watch out, I'm going to break into song. Anyway, you see? Why? Well, because that's how you're shaped. I'm just using the shape analogy again. I don't like going to the shape well. Okay? But you understand. See, existentially, just kind of talking shape-wise, you see, the shape will relate to as that shape. So now if we take it out of shapes, which is strictly an object thing, and we bring it metaphorically using that same kind of thing as you as a person, that as qualities and attributes, strengths and weaknesses, you compare yourself, etc. See, then when you're finished doing that, you compare yourself well here, badly here, you have this quality, you have that quality, and you're broken over there, whatever. You know, it's like we got that. Then you'll go through life, and some of that is going to push you in certain directions, like the hula hoop or the star. So you're going to simply interpret what you experience, see, what you perceive in relationship to you, da-da, and your mind works much faster, much quicker than you. See? And so you will see, and you'll say, okay, I have to do this, I have to do that. You understand? I'm driven to this, I'm driven to that. And these things that you have that are called existential assumptions about yourself aren't true. They're not necessary, but they are you. See, that's why I say, like, you're being them. If you stop being them, then you don't have to have those patterns anymore. Matter of fact, you won't have those patterns. If the hula hoop turns into a table, it's not going to roll anymore, but it's going to clunk, and it's going to, be very good for setting things on, whatever. So to speak. Yes, sir?
Something like, is it even possible for me to show up without shape, without being bound to a person, like showing up as a no person or having no patterns? Because
No, it's not possible for you to show up.
Because
it's possible for you to be, but it's not possible for you to show up without shape, without form. Because you can only show up with some kind of form.
mm-hmm.
But I was also postulating that you could show up as just simply a generic human form. Kind of like a bee, right? You know, let's just imagine all bees are healthy. I'm imagining all healthy, right? See, you can't really tell by the behavior between one bee and another bee. They all behave the fucking same way because there's no individual bees. And then if you had an individual bee that, did its own thing in the bee, they probably kill it, but, you say, well, that's unusual. So that bee would have to actually, I'm sorry, but the bee differently. I could choose an ant, okay. But you see what I'm saying? Live differently. They hold themselves as a different, not like a bee. So say like if you were just a generic human, you'd be like a bee, being a bee. But you don't. See? And you also have things that you suffer. That you say, well, I don't want to do that. I would rather not do that, right? A bunch of that stuff, it's not healthy. I feel I have to, but if I didn't have to, that would be better. Huh? Yeah. And that's usually why we tackle this stuff. See? But it's also true with positive things. You say, oh, I have these positive traits, but the positive traits that are assessed to be so, usually you don't think about them. Generally, what's positive about you takes no attention because it's just that way. That's handled. That's fine. That's handled for you. So, like this cause thing, like you're a Coke. Remember I was talking, you're a Coke? Well, the reason it seems caused, I want to invite again to consider, the reason it seems caused is the same reason I said, like, when Bob comes in the room, he seems to cause this anxiety. Bob leaves the room, the anxiety goes. Bob comes, the anxiety comes. See? It's clearly Bob causes the anxiety. See? Same thing, behavior. Well, the circumstance seems to cause this behavior, reaction, because if that circumstance doesn't happen, I don't do it. But that circumstance happens, I do it. Whatever, that kind of thing. See, there's this relationship. Why? Well, the only reason Bob or the circumstance or whatever seems to cause your behavior or your feelings or your motives is because you're relating that to you as a whole. You instantly relate that to you. It's that for me experience. And the moment you do that, it creates the motives and the behavior and the interpretation of what to do, and so the behavior. If there's some aspect of you that you seems to be off keel or whatever, you're just not noticing what in your experience are you relating stuff to, or certain circumstances or situations or feelings, whatever, are you relating to so that behavior comes about? You become conscious of that, whatever it is, and however it goes down, stop being it, and the behavior disappears. And you can go back to being a bee. Bees are pretty happy.